Welcome to part 2 of Excel Spreadsheet 8 or Module 8. In here, you're going to be using the second worksheet provided for you in your Excel file, and you will be creating a pivot table and a pivot chart. So we're going to start off with your second, and I'm going to go ahead and delete this, with your second worksheet, and we're going to go ahead and click on it. I'm just going to go ahead and use the hotkey Alt and V, and I get the shortcut and create a new pivot table off my original list. So here you're prompted on the Word document, so you can see the revenue of your salespeople, and you have their individual names, and you want to see revenue in values. So you want to see salespeople in rows and revenues in values. So we're going to go ahead and look for salespeople, salesperson, and that goes under rows, and revenue goes under values. Okay. And there you see it. And again, you're instructed to make sure that it's in tabular form. So design, report layout, tabular form, and we want to make sure that we see format cells and that we see currency, 2 spaces after the decimal, and click OK. And now the idea is we want to see who, if in the discussion comes up, who's the top salesman or which one is the best. Now we've done sorting, we've done filtering, but it's a little bit more time consuming. Let's do it faster in this filter kind of viewpoint that the pivot table has. So what you're going to do is you're going to go ahead and right click on any cell in the revenue column, and you're just going to select sort and from largest to smallest, and immediately we see that Nancy is the top salesperson while Jan is the least performing salesperson. So it puts it from largest to smallest. So very quickly, instead of going through that long process we typically have done before. Now, since it's formatted for money, we can go ahead and insert a bar chart. So you're going to go ahead and insert, and you're going to do a pivot table, a pivot chart. Okay, and we don't want a clustered column, we want a bar graph, so we're going to do clustered bar, click OK, and it looks like this, but we want to make some changes to it. So one is I can go to salesperson. Now it's not in the order that we have here, we want it to be top salesperson to the bottom. So I'm going to click on salesperson here, and sort A through Z is just for alphabetical order, so I'm going to go under more sort options, and when you do that, it says descending Z to A by sum of revenue. So I'm going to click ascending A through Z by sum of revenue. Now some people might say, well, why isn't this like the other one, alphabetical order? Because this is based off sum of revenue, so we're looking at sales. So now when we do that, look, it reverses the order, and now it's from top salesperson to least. We want to go ahead and remove it just doesn't work. This isn't very good. Even if I stretch this out and give you more room, it's a little bit hard to see the monetary value. So I'm going to take that out. And I'm going to go ahead and click on this little plus sign on the upper right hand corner and just say data labels. Just check that off. And there it is off to the side, easier to see. Also, the lines look a little messy. These little lines here, we don't need them because the values are already next to them. So I'm just going to click on it with my cursor and hit the delete button on my mouse. Also under format, under design and under analyze, under analyze the field buttons, I don't, unless I'm planning on changing this information on the fly to present to someone, I don't like the look of these buttons, so I'm going to go ahead and select field buttons, and I don't want to show the field button. Okay, so that goes away, so that doesn't look too ugly, and I want to make sure I just clicked off it. I want to make sure that I don't have any of the field buttons on there because I don't want that. I don't want the total because we already know that's the total, so that's redundant. So I'm going to hit the delete key. Now, when you do that, do you notice how the bar does overlap with the value? So what we want to do is we want to select this so the bounding box goes around the table, and I'm going to bring it in ever so slightly, and that way it gets rid of any overlap. You're instructed to change the title, so just click on the title, sales by rep for December 2014. So for December 2014, See, that just looks better. The last thing you're instructed to do is to go ahead and make the columns a little bit wider. So a way that you can do that is double click on the bars and you get the Format Data Point menu, and you just go ahead and see where it says gap width. You're going to bring it in and you make the gap width smaller, which means you make the bars wider, and it just looks better. Okay. Once you do that, you can go ahead and click on its, move it to its own worksheet. So you're just going to right click, and I recommend the upper right hand corner, move chart, new sheet, and you go ahead and name it individual sales for December, because that's your instruction, individual sales for December, DEC abbreviated, and click OK. And now it moves it to its own worksheet. Okay. And now I can click off that, and now you can see your chart. So sales rep by rep. Oh, I'll fix that. I have two capitals there. But see, now the table looks better, the chart looks better, and I can always add in the future if I wanted a border or anything else that I want to do in terms of changing color. And if you want to change the color, add border, absolutely, it will look nice. Start to make it look more aesthetically pleasing, you can. And once you have that, go ahead and move that after your table. So your table, original worksheet, the second worksheet I gave you should be first there, then the table that you actually worked on should be second, and then your chart should come after that. Okay, and that is part 2 of worksheet number 8.